From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, 2022 candidate for California Governor, Major Williams. With Gina Grad on news, Bald Bryan on sound effects, and a spirited round of made-up movie. And now, never vegan and definitely not cruelty-free, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Not to get it on, no choice but to get on a mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for sharing. Saw the ratings go up last week, so thank you for that. Right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
And Bald Bryan.
Check out this crispy motherfucker.
I had it's kind of interesting the way the brain works. I walked in here today earlier to do a bunch of podcasts with Dr. Drew. And I just walked in the door, and Drew was reclining on the couch. He had his feet up.
Wait, he was in?
Yeah, he was laying back. And for a millisecond, my brain went, what's Drew doing laying down? Drew never lays down. And then about a tenth of a second later, my brain went, oh, he's just had COVID-19 and fixed it. But
did you go patting on his ass, tell him there's real soldiers out here?
I should have went general patting on his ass. But, you know, I was thinking about it, and I was just thinking about it's interesting how the brain works, or at least how my brain works. I'm constantly trying to make sense of everything. If I ever see something that seems out of place or inconsistent with a person's patterns, my brain always sends me an alert, like an immediate alert. Right. Never seen Drew laying down. And then I got this second alert from my brain that said, here's the context. He's got the COVID. But then I thought, you know, I was saying to Drew, it was an interesting little moment. And then I said, you know, we're kind of living in a time where you see someone laying down, and you go, because Drew's so lazy. And then someone goes, oh, no, it's because he's getting over COVID. And then you go back to, because he's so lazy. That's kind of
you got to fit it in.
I just think that's where we're at now as a society. People are not processing information.
But still has never been more. Sorry, Gina. But still has never been more appropriate, especially on like Twitter. You get into it with someone, you're like, well, actually, the reason is this. Like, but still. Yeah, but still.
That's such a childlike way of looking at stuff, too, because it's so funny when you said Drew is lazy. Because when I was 4 or 5 years old, my aunt, who was, young at the time, had a roommate who worked at night and who would sleep, during the day and work at night. And her name was Thea, and I called her Lazy Thea. And that's still what we call her, and I'm well into my adult years. So that's what a child does. Why are the rest of us doing it?
But Gina,
she's still working.
You did tell me off the air that was mainly because she was black. Yeah. I think it's important that we share that with the audience. Yeah, if you have a roommate who works a night shift, that's not good. That means something has gone a little bit wrong in your world, as an adult.
If you're not in your 20s and you're bartending, like
I thought you meant it was not good for you, but it is good, right? If your roommate works the night shift, isn't that good?
Well,
yeah,
I mean for you, not for them, of course.
It's not good. It's not good for you. It could be good for you. I mean, if you're an adult and you have a roommate and that roommate works graveyard, things probably haven't worked out as well as you would have liked them to. But from a scheduling standpoint, yes. But I will say, I mean, it is good because they leave at 8 at night and you got the whole place to yourself. Yeah. But I will say this, all those who work the crazy shifts, that's fine. That's a decision. It's a life choice. But you relinquish your right to get up and be pissed off at people who are doing normal daytime activities. So you're not allowed to start screaming at the neighbor who has got the weed whacker out at 9:45 because the sun is shining and that person is on a normal schedule. Yes.
Do you want to build a nap room? And don't you get upset about the backup beepers?
I go nuts over the backup beepers, but I don't blame the guy driving the truck. I just hate the backup beeper. But
conceptually,
I have also had the luck of the draw of it was born from my first house in Lake Hollywood. No, my first house in Hollywood Land underneath the Hollywood sign. And it was up in the canyon, and my bedroom just had the single pane windows, and it was upstairs, and it just faced the canyon. And if there was a garbage truck on the other side of the canyon, barely visible by the eye, you could hear that ringing like a bell. It just came through. I don't know what with the canyon. And it was also that the garbage man came at 6:30 in the morning on Fridays, and Friday was the only day. Friday was my biggest work day because we would either gang tape The Man Show or Loveline on MTV, and I would, of course, work Sunday through Thursday and would go to bed late on Thursday night, coming home, after midnight after doing Loveline, and it was my big day of filming TV shows, and all I wanted to do was sleep, and the goddamn garbage man would roll through there at 6:30. He'd be backing down the street. He'd be heading up the street, small, narrow, windy street, so a car would come down, and then he'd meep, like pulling out of the way, and then the garbage man would come, and then 10 minutes later, the recycling guy. Right. I am telling
and then the
you,
leaf guy, then the green bin guy.
Yeah, so I don't even know if they had a green bin back then, but I will say this: if you're looking at buying a home, and I've had a few of these, and you get shitty cell phone reception in your house, and/or the garbage man comes in the wee hours of the morning, I'm telling you, don't consider not purchasing that home. I mean, those are
whether you're renting or buying, you should go like in off hours and see what the parking's like, see what's on the trash man comes,
and go find out if Waze is offering any alternative routes that go right by your goddamn house. Don't look at it on a Saturday with the realtor. Go there on Monday morning and see what the traffic's like. All right, so tips for homeowners. Let's see. I don't know why, but let's see. Major Williams is coming in. He's a man who's going to be running for California governor. Talk to him, but I think I called him Major Adams when I was talking to Max Pat about it, and then also Nate is coming in, who we run Chassy with, but Nate's last name is Adams, so now we do have an Adams, and then I realized, why did I say Major Adams? And then I thought, well, I said Major Adams because Nate Adams is coming up and Major Williams is coming in, but the real reason I said Major Adams is because he was the head guy in a show called Wagon Train that I used to watch when I'd stay home from school. You ever see Wagon Train?
Was that in Bonanza Ponderosa?
Yeah, it was probably even before then. It may have been, I think it was black and white. It'd be one of those old-timey, stupid shows that you had to watch just because it was on and they'd run it during the day. Wagon Train. And 57 to 65, decent run. Major Adams was the main guy who was in charge of the Wagon Train. I mean, it was the same episode every year. Yeah, they just taken the covered wagons across the West. Super boring shit for me when I was 9, but I had to watch it. Played by Ward Bond, then John McIntyre. But there's also character, the Scout. The Scout was named Flint McCullough. And I thought, ooh, Flint McCullough versus Adam Carolla. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, if my fortunes would change if my name was only Flint. Flint Carolla?
Think of the possibilities.
Oh, my God. It'd be on top of the world.
Or Dutch.
Yeah, Colt.
Yeah, so do you have the beginning of Wagon Train? I'm going to have a little flashback. God bless the internet. Oh, it was color. Wagon Train. With John McIntyre.
I love that font.
Yes, Old West font.
Yes.
Oh, Robert Fuller. This would be a later one. Frank, whatever. It's like there's always the old-time cookie, the guys that cook.
According to Wikipedia, it was mostly in black and white, and then for the final season, I guess it was
they gave everyone a treat.
Promote color TVs.
They must have clipped Flint McCullough. They're always in. They're always in Indian country. You know what I mean? They always were going through Indian country, and there was.
You mean America?
Yes, America. It was all Indian country.
Native America.
So they had to look. They had to look out. Trying trying to think. So anyway, we'll talk to those guys about what's going on in life.
I think once
Dawson.
you see the major and Nate Adams side by side or back to back, you won't confuse them anymore.
No, yeah, probably.
Very different.
They look very different. Yeah,
Very different.
Is there a season 1 intro? Is there any voiceover or anything? Is it all just that? And I never had this thought, and you guys tell me if this is just a gaping hole in my stupid brain. The chef, the cook on all those old-timey Western things, the guy's name was always Cookie. You know what I mean?
Cookie,
And it's like,
yeah.
and it go, Cookie, get over here, Cookie. And all I ever thought of until 4 minutes ago was Cookie, like how does the cookie
like a
crumble?
chocolate chip.
But he was the cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they call him
Sorry.
Cookie
It's
because he was the
like
cook?
Skippy. No, yeah, Cookie because he was the cook.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Wait,
You're absolutely right.
I'm
He's right as of 5 seconds ago?
No,
Yes,
I'm the
as of
only.
5
I'm the only person that didn't know this, or Gina, you're
No.
dumb too.
I'm dumb too because my I have a lot of nicknames in my family. Nobody calls me Gina, but one of my names was Cookie. And when because my dad is big on B Westerns, Three Musketeers, and Gina, I've seen them all a million times. And when they would have a cookie, I thought, oh, their aunt and their grandma loves him too, because they call him Cookie. So until this moment, it never occurred to me that he was the cook.
What?
My
This is madness.
Nope.
I know. Well, see, this is the insanity of it. Probably the first time you heard it, you did the connection of cooking
Yeah.
and cookie. I just thought it was a nickname for an old timer and I had no idea. And my grandfather called me Cookie.
Yeah, it's a term of endearment.
Laszlo Gorok. So I was called Cookie. So I had kind of he didn't provide many cookies, ironically, but he called me Cookie.
Yeah, I was Cookie too.
I was thinking about him the other day going to the supermarket and buying generic beer. Generic
Just
beer.
says beer.
Just beer.
Yeah, it literally just said beer. Like, first off, old man, do you like beer or don't you like beer? Because I'm confused. Number one, his thing probably would have been, it tasted almost as good as good beer would taste. Also, my feeling is on things like that, go ahead and spend the extra 48 cents and get yourself a Lone Brow.
I have
from the part of the world that makes good beer.
Or is he part of the from part of the world like Eastern Bloc territory where you just get beer? So he's used to that.
Yeah. I will tell you that Gina sent me over a menu for a Hungarian restaurant that her friend is doing. I recently had goulash and chicken paprikash. Goddamn awesome. I will also tell you that as I was looking down the menu of what you sent me over, Gina, I saw a casserole, a sauerkraut casserole with sausage cut up into it, which is one of my grandfather's creations that I never speak of. But he did sauerkraut with kielbasa, cut in silver dollar sizes all through it, and then you layer it. I think you would do a layer of like sour cream or potato or something, and then sauerkraut, and then the kielbasa. Goddamn hearty! I'm telling you, people. Everybody, I have this experience a lot. People have never tried goulash in their life. They never tried chicken paprikash. It all sounds weird. It's like, how come? What do we need that for? We have stew. What do we need goulash for? Everybody who eats it, 100% convert. They all fucking love it. No one's ever had it.
It's damn delicious. The problem is that, outside of making it in your own home, I suppose, what menu are you going to find it on?
Gina's
you
friend.
gotta seek it out.
Yeah, that's why you got to find a pop-up. And she literally, it's called Eden's Hungarian. She spent all this time in Hungary. She loves this culture. She loves this food. So it's going to be authentic.
Yeah, well, I'll give it a plug. So I haven't tried it yet, but I want to try the kraut. And don't sleep on the sauerkraut, everyone. Not nearly enough of that in your diet. All right. Dawson has an article that somebody tweeted me a couple of days ago, which I'd like to get into, and then I have some thoughts. Go ahead, Dawson.
New study finds COVID transmission in schools is, quote, extremely rare. A new peer-reviewed study from American Academy of Pediatrics found that in-school transmission of COVID-19 is extremely rare. Collaborative study between Duke University and the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill discovered that among 11 school districts with nearly 100,000 staff and students, there were no instances of children passing the coronavirus to adults during in-person instruction. Researchers found just 32 cases of either kid-to-kid or adult-to-adult coronavirus transmission over 9 weeks. Wow. The study also slammed school policies that ask individuals to self-quarantine if they come within 6 feet of a person infected with coronavirus for more than 15 minutes, even if both individuals wore masks. The study calls the policy, quote, counterproductive, as transmission of the coronavirus when properly wearing masks is, quote, uncommon in school settings. Researchers also said the policy sends a mixed message to the public on the benefit of face coverings. The study concluded that, quote, schools can stay open safely in communities with widespread community transmission. This conclusion contradicts claims by teachers' unions that vaccines won't be enough to return to in-person learning.
Well, nothing's enough as long as you're fucking getting paid, right? As long as you're getting paid to work with your fucking slippers and house coat on, then nothing will be enough. Yes.
The costs of remote learning, meanwhile, have been high. A study of 4.4 million students found that minority and low-income children are disproportionately harmed by school closures.
That's true.
Other studies have likely indicated that schools are not driving COVID-19 infections. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said during an ABC interview that the default position should be, quote, to keep the children in school or to get them back to school.
So here's the question. Our schools have been closed down for a million years. Why? But the bigger question I have throughout this whole thing is, why the fuck are we putting up with this? I mean, these are parents sitting at home watching their kids rot. We all know it's the low-income, at-risk kids, the kids that are already having the hardest time with this, that are suffering disproportionately. Why is there more outcry about it? How come no one fucking says anything?
Do we care or don't we?
Why aren't we pushing back? This is nuts. It's
because anecdotally, everyone we know of or speak to is miserable. You know what I mean? With the kids not going to school and at home or falling behind or whatever. It's no one we know is happy about this.
And
anecdotally, but it's a lot of people we talk to.
There is no science to back this up, and then there's data that says it's dangerous to the kids to stay home for other effects outside of COVID, which we don't seem to weigh in. So what the fuck? And what are we doing? And how come more people aren't pushing back? That's my bigger question. I get Gavin Newsom's a fuck up. I get Garcetti's a fuck up. I get Barbara Ferrer's a fuck up. My question is where are the people? Where are the voices? And the answer is they're fucking scared, because everyone's scared if they pipe up or push back or say anything, they're going to get taken out to the town square and flogged. But that's the saddest realization of this whole thing. And I'm also going to dovetail this into one of my earlier thoughts, which is when this thing began, and I was talking to Dr. Drew about how big a shit show LA is with distributing the vaccine, and how it needs to go to people over 65. Those are the people that are dying. Under 65, people aren't dying. Over 65. Those are the people that are really getting hit hard and dying from this thing. So if you would like to take the vaccine and, you have a large population, you have a limited number of vaccine, well, then you just give it to the population that's going to die first, and then we'll give it to everyone else next. But remember, and this will tie in and dovetail with the school thing as well, there was always a concerted war, I felt, from the get-go, over ages. We're not giving out the ages that are of the people that are being affected. We did not get that information. It was very slow to come out, and when it did, it was never touched upon. No one ever really drilled down on it, and thus kids can't go back to school, and we have to give the vaccine out to this group and first responders, and there's a whole racial component to the vaccine too, because we did get the message early and often that this was disproportionately affecting communities of color. So if you're going to get hit over the fucking head about disproportionately affecting communities of color and not hear anything about age, then when the vaccine comes out, who are you going to give it to? The age is also, if we'd gotten the fucking message early and often with the age, then when it came to decide if schools could stay open, we'd go, well, it doesn't hurt kids. Of course schools could stay open, but we never got the age. And thus we just got, here's how many Americans died. And thus it affected policy. And I do think there was a concerted effort, not a conspiracy plan, just things sound that much more dangerous when you say, here's how many people died versus here's how many 91-year-olds died. Yes, Brian.
You and I are on the same page, because as you were saying all that, I was thinking to myself, literally just about to bring it up, like, I wonder if there will come out someday that there was a concerted effort amongst the people whose job it was to get the information out, don't emphasize it affects this group more than that group. Much like with the AIDS crisis, when there was the effort was made to explain that it was an equal opportunity virus and a killer and blah blah. When in fact it was much harder to catch for certain groups than it was for others, and that eventually came out. But the talking points were, let's get everyone on the same page and make sure everyone feels the same risk.
I agree with that, except for they didn't do this group or that group. They did do this group or that group, I should say. They did.
Wasn't it called like GAIDS?
No. It was grids.
Grids.
It was
something like that.
No, you're right. I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is in the current COVID crisis, yes. Right. What they did is they said heterosexual couple is just as endangered as a young single gay man who frequents bars. That was their attempt. It was basically, it's what doctors do when they go, do you smoke? And you go, I smoke one cigarette a night. And they go, that's one too many. Right. That's just as bad as smoking a pack or two. They do that because what they're saying is I don't want you to engage in this behavior.
Telling pregnant women not to have a glass of wine, when in fact it is totally fine.
Right, because they think you're going to drink a bottle of wine versus a glass of wine, so they tell you no amount is safe, which, of course, whenever you hear no amount is safe, it never really makes sense, because we all know you could have a glass of wine and operate a motor vehicle, or you could die of alcohol poisoning if you drank a gallon of Everclear. So I think the amount does.
There's the amount that matters.
And
does
by
factor
the way,
in.
The baby boomers who are doctors telling you this, ask their moms what they imbibed in while they were pregnant with the 2 martini lunches and the cigarettes.
Oh, a lot of highballs. All right. So I believe when I was screaming about earlier on, very early in this pandemic, about where are the ages? How come we're not getting ages? And people would say, well, HIPAA laws. And I go, say an 89-year-old Narlita died. What's the HIPAA law there? And I was getting a lot of fucking cross jabber on it. I now agree with me. Oh, HIPAA law. Sorry, HEPA filter and HIPAA laws. Yeah, we got to get the HEPA filter in the airplane, but the HIPAA law on the ground. I think it's done us a wild disservice. I think if people had the ages and had the context and just how much more deadly it was past the age of 65, and then how much more steadily dangerous it got as you passed 75, and how lethal it was when we got to 85. If we had had that information, then we could have shaped policies like outdoor dining, which is insane that it's still not open, and or especially schools, because schools are a bunch of kids by nature, and the average age of the school teacher in the 9th grade is 38 and 7 months. Everybody out of the fucking danger zone.
Would have changed daycare and preschool. It changed our lives. Our Tesla was closed for whatever it was, 5-6 months, just be out of caution.
All right, so
he still did physical education next to the bar this morning.
School and outdoor dining still shut down in Los Angeles, but I'm heading to Florida, baby. And I got
never coming back.
I got to tell you, that is one of the perks of travel. As big a pain in the ass as it used to be, going out to dinner, man. Already got reservations for late dinner on Saturday night. Looking forward to hanging out. Even just going to the airport and being able to sit at a bar in an airport feels like you're getting away with something. out here, especially. We have to meet. We got a 6 a.m. flight.
6 a.m. departure, yes.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
departure.
Departure.
Yeah.
Departure.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
I think it's a 5:30 boarding. So.
5:30 boarding. Everyone's going to be in a great mood.
Yeah.
Mike, the good news about Mike August is there's no difference between 5:30 in the evening and 5:30 in the morning. You will see the exact same Mike. Never seen the man yawn. Never.
Very true.
Never seen him go for a cup of coffee.
No.
He's always in a really natty outfit holding a duffel bag ready to go.
Yes, he'll be there. He'll be waiting.
He'll have plaid shorts.
He'll have plaid shorts on. He'll be ready to roll. Also, so that means we got to get to the airport about 5 a.m. and we got a layover. So we got about a 7.5 hour
You can't fly.
journey to Naples. So we got that.
Are you
to
going
look
out of
forward to.
Burbank or LAX?
LAX because it's less convenient. Because I was like,
the only advantage of driving to LAX for you is to get that direct flight.
That's right. That's why I asked.
Naples is a tough putt, but I got myself a first class ticket, which I never do. But I figured, 7.5 hours of travel.
Stretch out.
Yeah, stretch out in a 737 on the bulkhead, getting yelled at to put my backpack up top. And
You asked Chris if he wants to sit next to you. He's like, I'm good.
snacks. I don't know if they have drinks. I think they have drinks in first class.
Yeah, I'm the one sitting next to August who brings all the snacks. So,
That's right.
Kind of screwed there.
Yeah, Mike forces you to get fat on a plane because he brings a giant tub of mixed nuts. He also does this move that can bother me. He'll go, I'll go, where'd you get that jerky, Mike? And he'll go, 99-cent store. And I'll go, is jerky supposed to be clear? Because I can see through it, Mike. And he's like, it's just jerky.
Yeah,
I just
jerky's
love that.
jerky.
It's jerky, man. So bring that. What are his other? Now he brings a whole deli platter.
Oh, he brings cheese, like slices of cheese and salami.
And what happens is,
does he bring a cranger ale?
yeah, he'll invent he'll make the poor put upon stewardess make him a cranger ale, which is they always love it when you get into the experimentation with the drinks. Yes, he has to have a suicide made for him
The
right there in the
mixologist.
cart. Yeah. Then, he'll do this. The first thing he'll say when she brings the cart around is, "Do you have cranberry?" And then she'll go, "We only have cran apple." I don't know what happened to cranberry juice, but it got replaced with cran apple at some point, and it is gone. I like cranberry juice, but you shall not find cranberry juice. So then she will offer him the cran apple. Then he will explain now he wants the orange juice mixed with the cran apple, which last I counted was 3 goddamn fruits. 3 fruits in a cup. Then Mike will drink that, make some kind of joke about it, and at some point he'll bust into the nuts and the cheese and the jerky, and then you will sit next to him and you'll announce, that shit's gross, I want no part of it. And then 18 minutes later, you'll be devouring all of it because there's nothing else to do on that leg of the flight. So be prepared to pack on the pounds. I guess there's might be a couple of tickets left for Off the Hook tonight and Saturday night, but not many, maybe just for the early show. All right, Major Nate Adams is
That's right.
the guy we make all the movies with over at Chassy up the street. So he's going to come by. I think we'll do some made-up movie
Yeah.
with him as well. First, let me hit Geico. Do you rent your home? Well, you do one or the other. How about you make it easy to bundle those policies with Geico? Geico makes it easy. You take your homeowner's insurance, your renter's insurance, and your automotive policy, and you bundle them up at Geico. So you go to geico.com, get a quote, see just how much you could save when you go to Geico. That is geico.com. All right. Gina, you were walking around. You saw an interesting dog sign.
I did, and it made me think of Philly cheesesteak because you said he had a little issue not too long ago and had to go to the doctor, right? Like last month, maybe.
He is getting up on the counter and eating everything that's on the counter, and he ate a whole bag of lozenges the other day.
Minty fresh.
Minty fresh breath. He He's been eating every treat, every cookie, everything that's on the counter. He gets to and devours. But he did eat something.
See's candy a victim of his?
He did a whole
yeah.
box of See's candy and went through the side of the box, chewed through the side of the box. I know.
That's how good it is.
But you were walking around and saw
Yes.
what?
I walked around and I saw something. I thought, well, maybe the call isn't coming from inside the house at the Carolla house. Maybe it's everybody else. Here's a sign that was hanging up in good old Studio City. It says, "Dear neighbors, we love that you love our dogs, but need to ask that you stop giving them treats. This week, both have had allergic reactions to something they ate, requiring one to be hospitalized. Until we can identify the source, we need full control of their diet. Thank you." And then a treat symbol with a slash through it. No treats.
Sad.
How much treat distribution is there going on? Like, have you guys ever
friendly
fed a
neighbors.
strange dog a treat? I don't feel like I ever have.
No, literally never once.
No, but this is, I mean, I don't know, you know this neighborhood, but the high end across the street, high end on the other side of Magnolia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very communal and very kind of like upper middle class, like everybody knows each other. So maybe somebody's getting in there with the treats, but I've never done it. I've never seen it.
I feel like this is a clear case of externalization. Like, I feel like this dog ate something in the house, like the owner got drunk, fell asleep, was, eating.
Fed him chocolate covered coffee beans.
Eating some coffee beans, fell asleep. The dog ate it. Now you're blaming the community. I don't know. And then also, I feel like treats are vetted with dogs. You know what I mean? It's not like the person's traveling. It's not like people are walking around with a plate of nacho chips or something.
That's
Like,
what I was
hey,
thinking.
you want some dog? It's like some dried, grainy something that they got at the PetSmart place or Pet Mart. Like, how could the dog have a reaction?
Well, that, and I'm going to add to that point. Can you put the picture back up, Kaylin? Look at the position of the sign when we see it. It is covered. Okay, that is eye level to me. That is a high fence covered in, flora. So I'm not exactly sure how the dogs are getting the treats.
Yeah, I'm just
Do they
gonna
know for a fact that someone's giving the dog treats? Like I said, this could be something they got into in the house.
Who's to say?
It would appear to me.
Say.
All right. Well, anyway, based on this, I don't think I could hang with this person.
With that guy.
We got
That's the sign.
just the sign. All right. So Nate's going to come in. We'll talk about some projects we're doing, give you guys an update. But we have some titles already for Made Up Movie. So we'll bring Nate in. We'll play a round of Made Up Movie right after this.
And now, another honorable mention from the cutting room floor for the 2020 ACE Awards. For Best Impression, Gina Grad as Jennifer Tilly.
Well, hello there, sir. I have your very, very odd order. Is this something that you always order, or is this just something you wanted a little message you're sending to me?
I would say I have 2 basted eggs, pumpernickel dry, and black coffee. I hope that's what's on your tray.
I have 2 pumpernickels basted.
Yeah, it's not I'm looking at the script. It's not pumpernickels basted. It's 2 eggs basted, dry pumpernickel, and black coffee. Let's try it again.
Okay.
Just give me the menu item, please.
Here you go, sir. Here are your 2 eggs, your pumpernickel, and your basted black coffee.
Yeah. It's 2 eggs basted, dry pumpernickel, and black coffee. Let's just try and get a clean one of those.
Well, sorry, it's much easier to go when you say action.
And action.
Hello, sir. I have your order right here. 2 eggs, a pumpernickel, and a turkey baster.
All right, I think we can clean that up in post.
You think you got what you needed?
We can dig that one out. Yeah.
The 2021 ACE Awards are coming in 11 months. Now back to the Adam Carolla Show.
That band shouldn't have been playing the second stage at the Weenie Roast. That band should have been right in between U2 and Kiss on the main stage. That should have made the cut for the ACE Awards. Gina Grad, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Major Nate Adams here is. I'm now going to call you Major.
Okay.
How do you feel about
I
that?
know everyone's a huge Wagon Train fan. At least everyone under 40, I know.
Hey, you know what?
They're going to get the reference.
Being from Montana and super poor, one of my only childhood vacations, we actually went on wagon trains.
So you know.
No BS. Covered wagons across the plains of Montana.
That sounds awesome.
It was horrible.
Oh, it'd be awesome if you could do it with somebody other than your family. I think that's the problem with vacations. They're inherently screwed because they're with your family. You know?
There were tons of families. One of the families we went with were the Troutiers, who Brian Troutier was a super famous hockey player for the Islanders, and his family's from Canada. His dad's name's Buzz. His brother's named Monty and Rocky. And so we would go with them. But this is I can't even describe these experiences, but as a child, like super young, this is the first time like I ever saw like.
Hey, Nate, let me just jump in. Because you used their last name, if this is the rape story you told me over lunch at Kookaroo 2 days ago, probably don't get into that.
No, I'm going to stray away from this one.
Because you brought their last names up.
Yep. No, those guys were good guys. But they used to bring hockey sticks and hit cans off a fence. I never saw people do that. But as a kid, this is the first, because you're all in like tents in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time I like ever heard. You know, there was like one redneck cowboy dude who like kept hooking up with different women, but I never heard anything like that as a kid. This is the first time I ever, because I was out in the open and I could hear them sort of getting, busy. And I was super confused.
We need one of these. This should be a segment, Max Pata, because my dad's second apartment after we moved from the little bungalow on Laurel Canyon, and we moved to the back of the crappy apartment unit. It's not there anymore, but we're staying in that place in these little shitty row apartments with this paper thin walls, and we shared a whole, like our hall wall was just shared it with the other unit. It's a big long hall. I was laying in bed when I was 10. This chick was getting pounded all fucking night. Like I think it terrorized me, and it's probably why I can't bring women pleasure now, because of this blood curdling scream all night. She was just like, oh God, oh God, oh God. I was like all night. I got up next morning. I was like, this woman next to us is dying.
Yeah, I thought this guy was hurting. I thought someone was getting hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, what is
She's been run through.
Yeah, but I mean, she was just howling all night, yelling, oh my God, and I was like, she's got the stomach flu. She's got something. But it was also a funny thing because when I looked at my dad, I was like, the woman in the unit over here is dying, and we have to call the paramedics. And he just, in the moment he looked at me, like he just looked at me like, oh, fuck. Like, what? What do I say?
Quick, someone requires assistance.
That's what. But the second he looked at me, I was like, "Oh shit, this is something else." Like I was old enough to just barely do the math on the plowing that that lady got next to me. Yeah. So you heard sex through a tent.
Yep. And it scarred me as what happened to you. I was probably 6, though, maybe somewhere in there.
Was this guy, was this Major Adams or Flint McCullough, the scout?
Yeah, he was Flint McCullough.
He was the scout?
Was
he having sex with patrons, people that paid money to go on the wagon train?
Oh, no. This is like just a... I don't even know how to describe this. It's not like a paid thing. It's like these people got together in the summers and went on wagon trains.
Whose wagon train was it? I mean, someone had to buy a wagon train.
Everyone has their own wagons. It's like ice houses.
Like
everybody's got their own covered wagon and ride horses. And
in Montana, everyone has their own wagon.
Well, just these particular band of idiots. But then at the end of it, we would go into a town and it would be like the 4th of July parade, and all the wagons would ride through with the parade.
That sounds cool.
Oh, that sounds so quaint.
The other thing that happened is I learned how to catch gophers with a noose. So you put a noose in the hole and I caught them all. And I don't remember if it was Flint, the dick, but one of those cowboys let all my gophers go. I was so mad.
You caught them.
What are you going to do with the gopher?
You could catch them with a noose.
Yeah, gophers are extremely curious. They always pop their heads back up out of their hole. So you make a noose, and then you got to rope that's 10 feet long, and you go stand back, and then you wait. They put their head up, and you hook them like you would a fish, sort of, and then I put them in a corral. I got them.
You know what's nice about working with Nate? Nate's from Montana, and I'm from North Hollywood. But when I talked to him about his Montana stories, which were 1,000% different than how I was raised in North Hollywood, for me, it was just like asphalt everywhere, and the 7-Eleven was on the corner, and that there was no culture, there was no nature, there's no anything. It's almost like talking to somebody from a different time. It's like talking to 1840s guy.
Yeah.
So he starts telling me about his tales of hunting and ice fishing and gopher noosing and all this kind of stuff. I'm just like, it's like somebody from the past has been brought to the future, to the present, to tell me the tales of the way life used to be on a wagon train with gophers.
But we have the similarity of, like, we were super, super poor, so that was like all we could do. That was like our vacation was camping.
Did you
literally?
What now? Who cooked up the food? Oh, here's a question. Cookie, who's always the old timer cook on the Wagon Train shows.
Yep.
Did you ever draw the correlation between him being named Cookie and him being the cook?
No.
Yeah,
What?
me neither.
That seems very
Brian's the only
logical.
one
now
so
that you
far.
explained it to me, it seems perfectly logical, but I did not
Wait
ever
a
make
minute.
the
This
connection.
is insanity.
I never made the connection. I just thought it was his
Cookie
nickname.
Yeah,
My
a
mom's-
Cook's in the nickname.
But cookie is more something you're familiar with than a cook named Cookie. You know what a cookie is more than you know what cook.
We no
named
longer have to
Cookie Bread.
defend ourselves. It's 3-1.
I know, it really is.
Fine. What am I
I'm the
doing?
minority
We're
here.
wasting my
I don't know,
breath.
yeah.
Get a poll out, Max Pata.
Don't do it. I can't live with the results.
Or you know what? Just go to USA Today. There's probably one already on there.
Infographic.
Yeah, the infographic, the pie chart. All right, so Nate, usually you should be going ice fishing about now.
Oh, yeah, my brother just sent me some pictures. He got on the ice, but it's very thin right now because there's a lot of the weather's not super cold in Montana, but he did put his ice house out.
That didn't prevent him from going
No.
out in the middle of the lake?
Which makes me very nervous because he's not, he's a rotund guy.
Oh, big guy on a lake.
Yeah. And
With thin ice.
thin ice,
Big guy on
and
a
probably
thin
drove his.
ice.
I don't think he drove his truck on it, but yeah, he sent me a picture.
Did he catch, what is that, sturgeon? What's the crazy fish you guys go after there?
Pike and
pike.
walleye, but he
The pike and the harpooning of the pikes?
Yeah,
like,
the-
you guys aren't dropping a line in the water. You're fucking harpooning these things, right?
Yeah, we stick them with. It looks like a pitchfork with barbs, and my brother
Right.
actually welds them.
Yeah, he
Right.
does.
And then and we do put lines in. Also, we put those tip ups in, but we sit in the ice house to spear. That's the most fun, is when you actually get to stick one.
Yeah, and they're big and scary and like dinosaur fish, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's your brother.
There's
My
that. Oh,
God.
that's mine.
Oh, that's yours. The fucking pike. They're scary, crazy looking, and they're huge.
And if they bite you, they have anticoagulants in their mouth. Like, I tried to take a hook out of one of their mouth once, and it bit my thumb. Bled for like 4 hours.
They have like crazy razor teeth, and they're huge, and I think the reason you can stick them is because they're such aggressive fish that if you just put something shiny down there, they'll go after it.
Yeah, you put a decoy down there, and they swim in and just bite it, and then they come back to eat it real slow. And you just put your spear right over the top of their back up here, and then bam, you nail them.
Is pike good eating?
It's not as good as walleye, but yeah, my brother, we eat them all. He beer batters them. I'll show you.
You know the guys I like? I like the guys who fish and hunt, and then when you say to them, you hunted and ate rattlesnake, and and they go, yep. And they go, is it good? Not really. Like, well, okay. Wow, that's a commitment.
Available.
It's available. It was alive. It's alive and free. So, yeah, didn't have to taste that good. Yeah, got a bunch of pictures of giant pike with your brother.
Might have this
This
big,
is a
like,
walleye.
rectangular
Oh, it's a
mouth.
walleye. You know, the thing about Nate, I don't see... Nate, you're sober, right?
Yeah.
So aren't you legally precluded from ice fishing? Like,
that
don't
is
they-
a big
don't they
part
have you
of ice
blow
fishing.
breathalyzer before you go out there? If you don't blow
If you're
over
not
a
drinking-
.08, you can't get out there?
Yeah, if you're not drinking whiskey straight from the bottle, they don't let you on the ice.
Sober ice fishing with Nate. Ugh.
Exactly.
brother.
Exactly. It's pretty brutal.
The dictionary says cookie, with a Y, a cook at ranch or camp. So,
Well, now we know.
Dawson, you're going to say you knew it.
I figured it out about 3 years ago, so I did not know it.
Fairly
And
late
then-
in life.
Fairly late in life. And then when I said, oh, that makes perfect sense. But no, I thought it was just a term of endearment.
Max Spada?
Hey, everyone listening, there's no shame in knowing that cookie is for a book.
Never heard of Cookie before. Today.
What?
I knew because he's from a fucked up culture where they
Yeah.
don't
That's
have
true,
good
that's true.
stuff. So he wouldn't even know that cookie
Yeah.
was the name.
We didn't even cooking food. That's not even part of our culture either.
Yeah, you eat everything
What?
raw.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what would you eat on the wagon train, Nate?
Just bad stuff off of fire. Everything was fire cooked. So
Were you guys hunting
just
along the
meat.
way?
No.
Bring
No.
cans of beans and stuff?
Yep, beans and so long I barely remember. I just remember eating everything off the fire.
What is what's going on with Chassy? By the way, congratulations on Mashable and the Formula One recommendation of Uppity. So,
Yeah,
that's
some good stuff. So right now we are doing a final crowd raise where you can invest in the 2 docs we're just finishing, one on Mad Magazine and one on memes that we're doing with Cedric the Entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing a final raise for post-production. And it's pretty cool because when we first started these, we're about to finish them both. We're at rough cut with both of them, and we ended up getting, as you know, a bunch more celebs in both of the docs, and they're pretty much done. And the good thing about this is the kind of investment where you can get money back. It's not like crowdfunding where you get a T-shirt or something. There are perks you can get. You can get your name in the credits. You can get executive producer credit depending on your investment. But it's all set up so that you get money back as we get money back.
Oh, okay.
So the good thing about it is like the COVID situation that has killed production in Los Angeles, that we're going to finish these 2 things in the next 3 months. They'll be available when there's really just not a lot of content to sell right now. So it's going to help.
So go to invest.microventures.com and invest in either one of these movies and some perks, digital downloads and tickets to premieres and producer credits and dinner with me and Cedric the Entertainer.
That is on there.
That sounds like a pretty fabulous
Rattlesnake.
dinner.
Yep. And for the simple URL is microventures.com/Adam.
All right. And what's the update? Any K-Rock doc updates?
Boy, we have a lot of people who are trying to sort of help us get that over the finish line. We're still holding out hope that we can do 4 episodes instead of 1, instead of a one-off doc. We just interviewed Chris Martin,
Coldplay,
yeah.
right.
And we already had Bono and Tom Morello and Blink and Beck and Green Day and all those great people in there. I think, we're gonna retake it out again, and I don't know how we didn't sell it the first time. So
Well, I blame you, but
I agree.
It's a weird thing, and it's kind of how Hollywood is. Every time I talk to someone, they go, "Oh, what are you working on?" And I'd go, "I'm working on a Paul Newman racing doc," and they go, "Okay." And I go, "I'm working on a 24-Hour War," and they go, "Uh-huh." And I'd go, "I'm working on Shelby." I don't know what that is. And then I go, "I'm working on a K-Rock doc." Everyone would go, "Oh, that's an awesome idea for a doc. Oh, they got to make that doc." And I was like, "Yeah." And that's the one that's hardest to get made.
It's so bizarre.
It's bizarre. All right. So we're going to play some made-up movie. Do we have an intro here?
In a world where titles are many and plots are few, one man can take your movie names and make them come to life. What is going on? Adam Carolla stars in Made Up Movie.
Gina?
Yeah, one jumps out at me. Busted Dreams.
Oh, Gina, you remember the rule. The caller's supposed to
Oh,
say
I'm
the
sorry,
name.
I forgot.
Yeah,
I
you
forgot.
just fucking busted my dream.
Ruined everything. I'm sorry. Do you want to talk to him or no?
Yeah, we'll just go down. Hey, caller, what's the name of your title? Shh, quiet, Gina. We want to hear.
It was based on Gina, so I'll let her get away with it this time. But it's Busted Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
But if you'd give me a minute just to heap some praise, Paul, Bryan, I'm glad you're doing well. A Patreon for Film Ball, and glad everything's going good with Christy and the kids. Gina, you're a breath of fresh air on the show. It's the first time I've called in a few years, but I'm glad to have you on. And, Adam, you've really made a big impact on my life, and I think that I'm a stepfather because of you, and with patience and keeping families together. So,
well, thanks,
Nice.
Bryan.
Anytime.
All right, name your movie. Did he get
all
it?
that kind of good stuff. But
All right. He did say it was named after me.
So go ahead.
It could be an autobiography, but are you familiar with the movie Kinky Boots, the musical Kinky Boots?
Yes.
Yeah, familiar.
It's,
Heard of it.
I feel like this is the next evolution of that. It's this shoe factory that pivots and starts making like drag queen boots for the drag queens. Busted Dreams, a factory down on their luck, trying to come up with the next big super bra. The next great, and they have to compete with Victoria's Secret. They have to compete with Maidenform, but they are not giving up. This is more like Kinky Boobs. They're not giving up on this dream.
Well, what if we take it a step further, which is the bra company is an old-timey Amish bra company. They've made bras for the Amish their entire career. They have the young girl who's fled the community and gone out, and of course they're having difficulty keeping this 150-year family business afloat, and she has to come back and convince them that they have to make the frilly stuff and the sexy stuff and the bedazzled stuff.
Yes. And do you know why she knows about that stuff? She was on her Rumspringa.
That's right.
It went on forever. Yeah.
That's right.
She went on for her Rumspringa. That's where you get to go and be wild and be crazy. Be
stint at a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's right.
And that's where she found out it doesn't all have to be, zipperless or however they do it in, the Amish country. And that's where she comes back and marries these two cultures for a bra juggernaut factory.
I mean, they do have two things going for them: handmade and American made for their bras.
Yeah.
Now, should we have Emma Stone be the young gal?
This is great.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that there has to be somebody out there that kind of takes her under her wing. I don't think Kim Cattrall is working right now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So that might
She's
be a
looking
nice
for a
choice.
gig.
Yeah.
I'm told Emma Stone is pregnant and can't work right now.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll have to push production.
Do you buy Kim Cattrall as Amish? With the
Kim Cattrall,
she's
no.
out in the world?
Kim
I see.
secular.
Okay.
Kim Cattrall plays the Manhattan, recently fired from Victoria's Secret
Yes,
for a
exactly.
scandal.
Who's got to turn her life around.
Who's got to turn it around. Shows up to the Amish factory. At first, she's laughing at all these guys and their wagons and their hand
Butter
tools
churn.
and everything, but eventually finds love and realizes the ways of a simpler life, like Nate and the Wagon Train and the gopher hunting. She comes in there like Ava Gabor from Green Acres, you know.
Yeah.
She's wearing all the furs and the high heels, and of course, there's the fish out of water when she walks into the
Yes.
factory, and all the old Amish guys are looking at her.
Yep.
You know.
Crocodile Dundee.
And then there's the handsome guy that's building the barn, who's the
Yes.
quiet, strong carpenter guy that she falls for.
Well,
You know
I'm
that's
gonna
happening.
go with Liam Neeson on that one.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the widower. He's the widower. And
Kind of quiet, but
What's
heart of gold.
the
his wife in a
Harrison
barn
Ford
raising.
movie where he had to protect
Amish.
Oh,
wait, the
Witness.
witness.
Yeah, Witness.
Yeah,
That was a
witness.
good movie.
Amish.
Amish
It's called
witness. Amish witness.
Amish witness.
So Liam, his wife of 31 years was crushed in a barn raising,
Barn raising.
Oh, boy.
and he blames himself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like fresh baked rolls. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For the workers. They've been
and
doing
he
it all day.
summoned her to bring the rolls when the rope snapped
And the truss.
and it gave way and crushed her, and he swore he'd never raise another barn.
Right.
You know,
Sure,
and
sure.
Kim, obviously there's a montage, but at some point she convinces him to go out and raise that barn.
Honey, you've got to do this again.
Nate, do your Liam Neeson.
I've got a particular set of skills.
Got a particular set of skills, and I'm coming after you.
Yeah, all right.
And they put a little plaque with the dead wife's name on it.
Yes, on the barn. So we turn the Amish bra factory around.
Yeah.
And we raise the barn. Kim Cattrall finds a simpler life.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe
I'd watch the shit out of this.
I would watch this too. All right, let me talk to our caller. Hey, Brent.
Sure.
What do you think?
It's a Disney Plus original, and I'm already going to subscribe.
Thank you, my brother. All right. Let's go to line 2. Andrew, 50, Vegas.
That's right. Hi, guys.
That's right. What do you got?
I'm looking at Room for Cream.
Oh.
I'm thinking
Cream
on this one. I'm thinking of remember that Tom Hanks, what's her name movie where she had the bookstore and he owned the book big thing. It's that. Yeah, was that Got Mail?
Yeah,
is that one?
It was based on the shop around the corner.
Right. So Jennifer Aniston runs the little boutique coffee shop where she knows all the names of the, part of
the orders.
Yeah. And Hanks runs the big Starbucks. He's the guy's got the thing, and they're the last ma and pa place sort of on the corner left in town, and he wants to come in there and take them over and run them over. We have a pivotal scene where he comes in to observe. He just comes in to observe. Yeah. We played the observe music when he's sitting there pretending to read a magazine, that kind of quirky observe music. And then at some point, he goes up there because he's a Starbucks guy, right? He goes, I'm curious. You don't write the names on any of the cups. And she says, I know everyone's name. Don't need to. Yeah, and he learns something. He gets something from that.
He's an executive from corporate, and his job is his expansion, right? He sets up and the new franchises. And so he does everything by the book.
Yeah, and he's a widower because his wife died when a Frappuccino machine blew up. Okay, and he blames himself.
That's fair.
And he used to.
Is it a Frappuccino machine or espresso?
She was coming.
Is either one. Nate, don't. Come on now. Yes, okay. Ann.
Got it.
Yes, Ann. And he was known. He was known for doing a perfect heart in the latte.
Oh.
Yeah, that was his thing.
But ever since his wife died, his hand would start shaking like the captain on that ship. What was that? In Saving Private Ryan.
That's right.
Remember Saving Private Ryan's hand would start shaking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he could no longer make it. Just came out like a swastika. It was like, ugh. It was a mess. It would always come out like a frowny face. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he used to be
broken heart.
Yeah, broken heart. Like he used to be the best heart foam guy in Seattle, and now this, ever since. And obviously, once he finds love, we see the steady hand come back and perfect. That's the end, the perfect heart. We see it. We see the hand. We see the perfect heart. We do a little switcheroo where you think it's one of the employees, and we pan back and we see it's him.
And back and it's him.
And that's how we know.
That's how you know that he's come full circle.
He's back.
And he's found love. Yep.
He's found love. But what happens in between?
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not great, but could get the ball rolling on taglines. Live happily ever hereafter.
This is why they don't like ladies in the writer's room, Gina.
Fucking diversity.
Wow. Does your dad own this lot?
I'll go back to the drawing board. I'll keep working on that.
Please.
Stupid Cindy Paramount. Get out of here.
Next time, stay there. All right, but how does well, let's just make it Hanks now. Let's just go with Hanks and Aniston. How does Hanks, how does he come around? Like, when does he show up?
What's the turning point?
He's maybe at one of, he goes with her to a farmer's market where she only gets locally sourced beans, right? Or artisanal, and she's watching her go through it and everything. And that next day, he has to go to a corporate. He has to go to a corporate meeting, and they're like, "Sir, we can't get the beans out of Sumatra anymore because a warlord." Well, then pay him off, But the warlord is killing the villagers. I don't care how much it costs. And
they
then
don't drink my coffee.
He gets a bad taste in his mouth.
Bitter.
Now, isn't there like from a plot perspective, isn't there the line in the sand where he's supposed to take over her coffee shop and he just decides that I have to, this is the line for him, and that's where it's drawn, and that's where he turns the corner.
Yeah. Well, go
He's
ahead.
haunted by the death of his wife. They always wanted to open up their own coffee shop. They never got it. Kind of like Up at the beginning of Up. They always wanted to do this, but life got in the way. They never got around to it. And now he's found someone new in his life. Is like, yes, this is what I was meant to do.
He's never got to pour that perfect heart in his own coffee shop.
Yeah, that's right. Wake up and smell the romance. That's what's at the bottom.
There you go. That's on the poster.
Just so we're sure, crafters off the table.
Yeah.
We'll focus group it.
Keep the crafter to yourself.
All right, let's do one last one.
I like line 3 if we can do
line 3. Here we go. Matt, 44, Philadelphia.
Yeah, Ace Man, get it on.
Get it on, man. What's going on?
Yeah, not much. Yeah, I just thought I'd say real quick first that I really appreciate the improv breakouts that you guys have.
Oh, good.
The one I thought was the best was the stroker guy walking through the airport. That was great.
What guy walking through the airport?
I never remember. I'm sure it was great. I never remember these.
What was
the guy that was caught with the Zoom meeting?
Tubin.
Yeah.
Oh, Tubin. Oh, Tubin having
guy.
The stroker guy.
Stripper
Yeah.
guy.
He had to explain why he was thrown off of the television. Yes. Okay. Noted. Go ahead, David. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt. Matt, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, good. My movie title is Ace in the Hole.
Brian?
Major Nate Adams is a enthusiastic poker player, so I'd like to involve him in the creative process. Nate, you've seen plenty of poker movies. The young upstart starts off hot, then they lose it all, then they come back after they learn a life lesson or something.
Yes.
It's the formula of every poker movie. Twist, female poker player.
Okay.
And she's kind of like a tomboy, you know what I mean? I'm thinking like a Jennifer Lawrence type, like raised by maybe a single dad, taught her how to play poker. She's a bit of a fish out of water in that world.
And she goes by Ace so people don't prejudge her.
Yes.
So they don't know her name in advance.
Or she could even play online where they can't see her. And everyone wonders who she is, who this person is, because they've never met them in person.
Right.
Because they kick ass and win millions of dollars online. But she has to go to a poker tournament that she has to play in person.
Yeah.
And I'll give you one more little tick of backstory.
Please.
She grew up in a very abusive household and has the ability to recognize. She has the ability to read people instantaneously, like almost the moment that they change behavior. She can read them.
But
she can anticipate it.
There's a footloose element to it, which is her dad is deeply religious, and she's been playing under the pseudonym online.
Yes.
But when they do the national televised poker championship in
World Series
Reno,
of Poker.
they're going to know. He's going to see, everyone from the community is going to see that the daughter is a gambler. Nate loves gambling and poker so much that when we went to England and we stayed at an Airbnb for 3 or 4 days, he found a poker game in town.
Wow.
In Europe.
At a dive bar.
At a dive bar. So,
Sounds awesome.
But, in terms of having a creative partner and a financial partner, you want addicted to gambling. That's one of the...
That's rule 1, page 1.
I don't care about your production skills, bucko. Let's talk about your gambling addiction.
How much trouble has gambling caused in your life? I do only play poker and I don't gamble, though. Just
you dig? What do you mean you don't gamble?
I don't.
Poker?
I only play
you
poker.
only gamble.
I don't play slot machines.
Yeah.
I don't play.
I only drink
any of that
vodka.
stuff. What?
I drink a handle a night.
That's good.
So no problemo?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Remember when I came in and showed you the 10 grand that I won at that tournament?
Yes.
And you were like, wow. That's the first time you ever looked at me like, hey, that wasn't a stupid thing you did.
Did you win in the
I missed the
European?
after-work poker games.
Yes.
No, it was a poker tournament here. I won like 22 grand.
Nice.
But they gave me
Damn.
$10,000 after we won one day, and I brought it in to show you because I had to leave work early. So I was like, Adam, this is why I left work early.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, I'll let you pass on that one.
Adam, I've played poker with Nate, and he calls my cards out. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's one of
But
those
to be
guys.
fair
It's
to
crazy.
him, you do hold them facing the wrong way a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
I like the design. on
Chris
that.
is pretty slow.
Memorized by the design. Oh, what a tapestry.
He didn't realize it wasn't Indian poker.
All right, so but she's got to go now. She's got to. But does she have to go in disguise? Does she have to go as a man, or
The big reveal.
is there some sort of Cyrano de Bergerac type situation where there's like the old timer guy who's the maintenance man in her
Right.
building, and he's going to get hurt. He's going to, and she's going to put the earpiece in and call it from the audience.
Ooh. What was that horrible 80s movie about the girl who played football?
She's all
Just one of
that,
the
or
gu-
just one of the guys.
Just
or-
one of the guys, I think. That was the one I was thinking.
That movie's amazing. What do you mean horrible?
All right, so who's the girl? Who do we have in here?
I need
Jennifer
number. I
Lawrence.
propose.
Yeah, Jennifer
She'd be
Lawrence.
great.
Yeah.
And I mean, it all comes down to like I like the disguise aspect of where like
We put her in a disguise.
and then to put her under pressure when she makes it to the final table, they bring her dad out there so that he sees her.
It was subterfuge.
No,
you know.
yeah, one of the guys who
One of the
wears the
guys playing against her.
sunglasses
Yeah.
brings the dad out because
to,
he
to blow
knows
her off her game because he can't beat her
Right.
straight up.
Right, we need that guy. Why don't we have who's it? Ken Jeong? Who'd be?
I was going to
good
say,
for
an
him?
over-the-top.
No, it's the- it's the
Jimmy O Yang would be great too.
It's the evil poker guy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
Oh,
fun
yeah.
to have
Exactly.
Dr. Ken
Yeah.
Jeong do that one, right? He's got
He-
the sunglasses and the ear things on, and he finds out, and he's going to bring the dad in and fuck her game up.
Oh yeah.
Who's speaking of dads? He's in everything. I don't know why I'm just picking this one, but in American Beauty, Chris.
Cooper.
Oh,
Chris Cooper,
He'd
the
be
dad, the
great.
abusive dad.
He'd be good for
Religious.
Jennifer Lawrence too.
Yeah.
He looks
Yeah.
similar.
We need a hot shot, kind of young Val Kilmer type to be the hot shot odds-on favored at the table, the misogynist, like
Yeah.
the good-looking blonde guy, the Iceman
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need that guy.
Could be Chris Helmsworth. Could be.
Any Hemsworth.
Yeah, any of the Hemsworth. Yeah, get them to play the heavy in that. All right. Hold on. Let me just check with Matt. Matt, ace in the hole. You like it?
Yeah, that was great. That was better than I expected. Thanks, guys.
I know. Some of the shit's okay. All right. Let's see. Let me hit a spot. Well, let me give a plug. I had the wrong stupid thing on my paper thing.
Both work, but
Nobody.
this is an updated one.
Microventures.com/Adam is where you can go. And again, it's not just get a T-shirt. It's actually invest in these films. We got When We Went Mad about Mad TV and Mad Magazine, and then of course Meme Gods as well. Both very good because I said so. Because we did it. Because Nate does it. All right. Let's see. Let me hit Mercari here. Here we go. Mercari at the start of the new year. Let's see. You got a bunch of stuff, and it's sitting around your home, and you got a bunch of junk that you may have wanted for Christmas. Maybe you didn't want. Maybe you wanted a better version of it. You got it. Now it's time to make room. Mercari, the marketplace app that makes it easy to say goodbye to the unused stuff and make money from home. Simply download the Mercari app and take a few pics and take pics of your stuff, give a description, and your item is going to get sold. That's how we do it. Yeah, I hate throwing stuff away. This is a way to make a little money and clear that closet out. No meetups, just box it up, and Mercari emails a shipping label right to you. Over 50 million downloads. Start buying and selling when you download today from the App Store. Or you can go to Mercari.com. That's Mercari, Mercari, your marketplace. All right, we will talk to Major Williams, not Major Nate Adams, about he's a pretty interesting guy. He's going to be running for governor of California. We'll talk to him right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace Man, gang, listen.
celebrating an achievement day. Finally paid off my student loans. But I gotta ask you, is it really an achievement day since I graduated from California State University Northridge? Let me know what you think. Go Matadors. Orale.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, unfortunately, my mom went to CSUN, so it's ruined for anybody who thought about going to CSUN. I want to talk about Major Williams, some of his political stances. Streamline the permit process for businesses. Startup businesses should be given a break on fees for the first year. Makes sense. Wants to aggressively encourage small businesses by reaching out to them and reduce taxes, relocate wasteful. Well, it says relocate, but I think you mean reallocate. Does it say reallocate?
In fact, it does.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Reallocate. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Relocate.
Relocate is the way I'm reading it. Reallocate wasteful spending towards a stimulus program. Develop a Meet Your Cop annual event like that as well. Good to talk to you, Major Williams.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we'll take anyone other than Newsom. I told TMZ that I would actually prefer one of those plastic owls that they put on the roof to keep the seagulls from shitting on the roof over Newsom. But what's going on with the Newsom recall? Do you know?
Well, at this point, it's gaining tremendous momentum. What I'm finding out across the state, and I'm sure you guys feel it as well personally, is that for the first time in California's history, I think we agree upon something, which is the F word, which is frustration. Californians are unified in frustration right now, and they are actually signing the recall petition. It took a while to gain steam, of course, with the lockdowns and restrictions and whatnot. But as the misguided decisions continue, the more awareness people are starting to have when it comes to recall efforts, and they are actively signing. And I just left a recall booth yesterday in West Hollywood, out of all places, and it was pretty active.
Yeah, I think the number, at least as of yesterday, it's past 1,100,000 signatures. And I think they have to, you probably know better than I do, Major, has to get to 1,800,000, which doesn't seem that far away.
Well, honestly, they only have to get 1.4 million to 6. The goal ultimately is to get 2 million signatures, just in case there's some duplicates, some ones that are like written out of the lines or that are thrown out or whatnot. But you only need a little bit over 1.4 million to recall the governor. And we are definitely close there. The recall effort, Rescue California, got an influx of cash of $500,000, an additional $100,000. So people are receiving the mailers now, and people becoming more active about, those recall efforts, including myself, using my platform to tell people, hey, if you are frustrated, if you're tired of the misguided decisions of a dictator leadership, this is your tool and mechanism to step up, step out, and do something about it.
On Reasonable Doubt, which is coming up this Friday with me, Mark Garagos, we interviewed the senior advisor for the recall effort. And I think he said, sometimes there's a little confusion, but yeah, you need to like 149 or 142 or 14 something, but they would count on a certain percentage of them being invalid. So you want to get obviously a higher number if you're going to throw out a few to get to that. And they're just setting their goal at 2 million. I will tell you this. I tell people this all the time. As a comedian, I always say the worst you can do is confuse people. It's much better to have people go, I didn't think that joke was funny, versus people going, I don't really know what that meant. Like, I didn't get it. I don't get it. I'd rather them go, okay, that wasn't a good one, than I don't get it. And I feel this way about Gavin Newsom. I don't get it. And I say to people, the smartest guys I know, the Dr. Drews of the world and Mark Garagos in the world, from all different sides of the sort of political spectrum, I go, what's the end game with Gavin Newsom? What's he doing? What's with the schools being closed? What's with the outdoor dining being closed? I don't get it. What's he doing? And they all look at me and they go, I have no idea. No one knows. Right. Which is, yes.
I think universally everyone is saying that exact same thing, because if you're basing it upon the data or even the science, your decisions or the decisions that he's making is not matching that. We know that there's data from hair salons and small businesses, restaurants. It doesn't correlate to him shutting those businesses down and basically tanking our entire economy. And I don't get the fact that he's been in leadership roles in so many different levels, from mayor to lieutenant governor to governor, without any track record of any success from a leadership perspective, which kind of made people like me exist. I'm like, well, if this guy can do it, well, an electrician can do it as well, somebody like myself. And I think it's going to be the best thing for our state.
That's what got me into morning radio. I'm like, if these two fucking retards can do this, I can do it myself. So inspiring, true. Yeah, the thing about Gavin Newsom, and maybe I'm missing it, but I would just like a little, here's what's going on. Salons are closed. Here's why. Outdoor restaurants are closed. Here's why. Here's some target dates. Here's what we'd like to propose. Here's what I just hear nothing, and it's just we got to shut it down. I think there was some news about schools reopening in a month or so, but why have they been closed already? And then why in a month? Like, why don't we do it? Why don't we do it on the 1st? Brian.
You're seeing that lack of transparency and that lack of information really manifest itself right now, especially in LA County. That's where we are, so that obviously makes sense. We talk about it, but yesterday they said, "Oh, people age 65 and older can get the vaccine." Does any of us know how to get a vaccine? Where to go? How to do it? What website to go to? Like, I've investigated it a lot because I have a pre-existing condition. So I'm like, oh, I'm next. What do I have to do? No way to know. No, it's borderline impossible to like get your name on a list or apply, or I don't know what to do. I'd like to think that I'm a relatively smart person, but I can't figure it out.
Well, and not only that, but Major, you may be able to speak to this as well, but that's changed almost every day. So you were in this tier today, but as of yesterday, now that tier doesn't exist anymore, and that's not LA County. That's every other county. So there's no way to know.
Where's the clear communication of information?
On a daily basis.
Say it again, Major Williams. Sorry.
The goalposts of what we're trying to accomplish with this, it continues to move and be pushed back every single day or every single week. And as you said, also to your point, without any true reasoning behind those particular decisions, based upon we have to trust the science.
I know I'm a broken record. I know I sound like an insane person, but all the electronic freeway signs, just write over 65 ? Get vaccinated or get vaccine, and then just give a website. And then everyone would, by the way, everyone would either pass under the sign and know it, or if you brought it up, everyone spends so much time on the freeways out here, they just go, I saw the sign, you got to go to www.org, and we could do it. I mean, we have this crazy network of these electronic signs. We could just put it up there.
We also have access to send out information via text. When they really want to get messages out, they can send text messages out to everyone's phone as well to give you that specific information. So at least you're informed, or you know what direction you need to go in regards to the information that pertains to you. So it's possible. But once more, it's just weak leadership and misguided. And I think for whatever reason, it's to keep us in a certain state of mind psychologically. And we see that the kids are struggling from this. The households are struggling. Suicide is up. Homelessness is up even more so, even though it was already going up under his leadership. So that's why I'm pushing. It's time for a different brand of leadership. Someone who kind of like has at least empathy for what's going on with our state, but also has some solutions and have a collaborative effort type of leadership style to, reach out to you, ask you what your suggestion is. Just how you just gave that suggestion right now. That's going on deaf ears, right? I'm going to be the person to say, man, that's a good idea. We should do that, right? But that's not happening with our government right now.
Yeah, you get the amber alerts all the time on your phone. You get the wind warnings or the high wind. We got some COVID alerts too.
Flash
Why not
flood.
just be another COVID alert? And also, imagine how every solution for every problem in Los Angeles is loosely based on going to the parking lot of Dodger Stadium. Like if we didn't have a major league franchise here, we'd be fucked.
SOL.
It was like, we got a problem. Well, I think we can solve it in the parking lot of Dodger Stadium. If we could all just show up in the parking lot, maybe we could cure this COVID-19. But every single solution is like, we got to go to the parking lot of Dodger Stadium. We got to get in line, and then we shall solve this. Yeah, I keep asking people again, as I stated before, is there something nefarious going on, or is it just wild incompetence? Like, I always just assume it's wild incompetence, but I'm starting to wonder, like, are they trying to shut down small businesses? Like, what is the end game?
Well, for me, it seems like there is a trend. Anytime there's an ability of freedom and independence, like the hair salons, in the boom of entrepreneurs over the last 2.5, 3 years, has been a boom of a lot of independence. And you have bills like AB5 that's coming to existence that's basically, cutting the legs off of independent contractors. So a lot of the dynamics is changing. The truckers. So anytime there's independence, they come in like big government trying to hold us back, saying, no, stay right here with us. You can only go so far. They put a ceiling on everything we're trying to do. So it does feel like it's something is there. You can't really quite put your finger on it. And I don't want to be like over conspiracy theories, but I speak to a lot of people and they feel the exact same way. And I know I do as well.
Well, it's interesting that almost everything to do with COVID has magically favored Amazon and Walmart and McDonald's and conversely smashed mom and pop restaurants, salons. Like, everything is kind of...
And also our churches.
Right. So everything is kind of, I mean...
Not important to us.
Could be a coincidence. But it does seem like everything has kind of gone the direction of sort of big fill in the blank. And
Sure.
it makes you worry, because I don't want to live in that world. Yes, Major Williams.
I really try to understand with all the information that they are sharing with us about the cases going up and things of that nature. At what point are they going to start sharing the data of the recovery? From my understanding and what I know, as many patients that go into these ICUs, into these hospitals, they're actually even out at a faster rate. But no one is reporting that, because we know that the recovery rate is high for the coronavirus. So is it to map out this fear and, wear a mask and do as I say perspective and keep us in check based upon that? But I think if they share both of those perspectives, I think at least we'll have a little bit more sanity, where you don't have grown adults coming up to other adults telling me, put your mask on, right? It's just getting like the Wild Wild West out there.
I do think it is. I mean, the problem is the news is always going to make more money from the scary than from the hopeful. And I think the powers that be in this city are, as we discussed before you came on with us, are doing the doom and gloom in order to try to scare people into doing the right thing. Also, the most promising, do you have Dr. Drew's drop? I was talking to Dr. Drew earlier today, and one of the most promising therapeutics, which Drew was on, is bamlanivimab.
Bamlanivimab.
Right. Here's how it's said. Sorry.
Bamlanivimab. Bamlanivimab.
Yes, I told
Bamlanivimab.
So clear.
I said to him, this is the best thing we got so far, but no one can pronounce it, so it's screwing everybody up. And then he said, oh, the name's made up. It's not a real name. They just made it up. And I was like, they just made up a name nobody could pronounce? Yep.
This is the before picture from like the medication commercials. Every medication, whatever it's called, some catchy name, Cialis or whatever, they put the actual technical name underneath.
Right.
Some impossible name. Just get a marketing team on this.
This is Black Betty, Bamba Lamba Lamb, and that's just what we should call it.
They would just call it Curletta, or something good. Like give one of those stupid positive euphemistic names they give for the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, like Happyville,
Chiritol.
Chiritol.
This is good pill.
Yeah, just do that with Bamlanivimab. Yes.
Bamlanivimab.
One more time.
Bamlanivimab.
2 more times, Drew.
Bamlanivimab. Bamlanivimab.
All right. So I still can't parrot it. Let me give a plug to Major Williams' website, by the way. Go to majorforgovernor.com. Do you think that the Newsom thing will be successful, the recall, at least?
I do. I do. I feel like the timing of where we are right now, the heightened sense of frustration from the small businesses, from the parents with the closure of the schools, with also just some of the misguided, legislation that he's passed as well here recently. I feel like it really is an opportunity to do it. And this is the prime time to try to go in and unseat the governor. Any other time, it'd be extremely hard. But dealing with the fact that how he's dealt with everything with the coronavirus and the lockdowns, it's kind of like opened up an opportunity for us to go in and change the narrative there.
Well, once again, Major4Governor.com. Major Williams, thanks for joining us on the program.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Big fan. Keep it up.
Good luck. We shall be following you. All right. Let me hit Geico. Do you rent your home? Or you do one or the other? You want to make it easy to bundle with your automotive policy? Good. Geico does that. Go to geico.com. See just how much you could be saving when you get to bundling at geico.com. Get a quote. See just how much you could be saving. At geico.com, take that homeowners or that renter's insurance, put it together with your automotive policy at geico.com. All right, quick break. We come back with the news right after this.
Give me the news with Grad, news with Gina Grad, breaking viral, all those crazy Trump tweets. Give me news with Gina Grad, trouble in the Middle East, celebrity drunk meltdowns. Need news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Start off with some sad news. We know last May, Roy Horn of Siegfried and Roy passed away from COVID-19 complications. Well, Siegfried Fischbacher has also died. He died of pancreatic cancer. He was 81. If that name sounds familiar, but you can't quite put your finger on it, they were a top attraction on the Vegas Strip for many years, known for their dazzling magic, white lions and tigers. Fischbacher passed away Wednesday at his home, just 2 days after his family revealed he was battling cancer. They were a fixture at the Mirage from 1990 to 2003. And you probably remember their act ended on October 3rd, 2003, when Roy Horn was nearly mauled to death by a white tiger named Montecore. Their act for a long time was the most visited show on the Strip.
Who has been parodied more than those two?
Yeah.
And I did see him. I saw him with David Allen Greer, and I can't remember who else, right before the whole Montecore thing went down.
Was it magical?
It was. We were filming or we were taping Crank Yankers in Vegas, and I was like, we got to go see Siegfried and Roy, and everyone made fun of me, but I said, yeah, you got to do it. I basically
gotta go see the Statue of Liberty.
You know what I said? I said, I'm sure in 1977 they were making fun of anyone who went to see Elvis. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. You don't want to see that fat has-been. That's your dad's, crooner or whatever. But I was like, nah, I said, with time, you'll be glad you saw them.
Yeah. And now it's over and you get to say you saw them.
That's right.
And me, I'm not a big fan of these animal acts like that
Bobby Barricini.
Douche. Hate him. Hate everything he stands for.
That's your Niagara Falls.
Oh, yeah. Yo, any animal act, circuses, I don't like that shit. And I don't like that guy. That being said,
Bobby Barricini.
I hate Bobby Barricini.
But you should at least memorize his name, because if you're going to be this animated.
Why should I have any brain space taken up with that monkey beater?
But because, by the way, I thought it was a euphemism for masturbate. Because when I go,
get out of here, you monkey beater.
Brian, ask me what the worst car ever is.
Adam, I'm curious. What is the worst car
ever? Goddamn that! What's its bumper? Shit.
I mean, you're a car guy. I figured you're so passionate.
Yeah, the
about
fucking comes in white and red and stuff. God damn it! Such a fucking piece of shit. I wish every one of them would be pushed into the fucking Grand Canyon.
Very non-specific about this car you hate.
That's the fucking thing with the fucking wheels. God damn it! It's the worst. The worst.
Ask me what that savior medication is that Drew was touting.
What was the savior medication?
Bamlanivimab.
Wow.
What's the monkey beater's name? Don't know, don't care. Hate him.
All right, but if you're going to be that animated, you should commit.
Bobby Barricini's a
Bobby
bitch.
Barricini. You got alliteration right there.
Right. And he beats the baboons.
And he beats the baboons. Oh, my God, the four Bs.
all that being said, I have to imagine that Siegfried and Roy treated these animals like they were royalty. I'm sure they're the best of everything.
That's not what I heard.
Isn't there like footage of them in the pool with the tigers? Is there anything better than a Bengal tiger in a pool?
Oh, majestic.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, you ever see like tigers swimming? It's the best.
I'd like to see that.
Best.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get that because that will definitely calm me down. Rick Snyder, he was the governor of Michigan during the 2014 Flint water scandal. He has been charged, finally, with crimes relating to Legionnaire's disease that broke out and led to 12 deaths. According to court records, he faces charges of willful neglect of duty that carries a punishment of up to a year behind bars or $1,000 fine.
Wait, Legionnaire's disease is what he's... What do you do for that?
Yeah. Flint water. Didn't that go on for years?
It did.
An insane amount of time?
And I would not assume that this is a case closed situation. This is probably, I imagine, what's getting the ball rolling. But Legionnaire's disease is like say you have like a dirty humidifier, you're breathing in a lot of bacteria and stuff.
Okay.
But the charges seem a little soft, but others were in Snyder's administration. They're also possibly facing charges. And the problem started when Snyder's administration switched, if you didn't see the movie, from Flint, from Detroit's water system to the Flint River. And that was just all the corrosion and the disgustingness. And that's when people were, turning on their faucets and lighting the water on fire.
Well, if I know Michael Moore, he'll have no opinions on this subject.
Right. He's been awfully quiet.
Yeah.
And this is a, oh, God, what's that super attorney? No, God damn it, I had her in there and interviewed her. The Julia Roberts movie.
Oh, Aaron Brockovich.
Aaron Brockovich. Yeah, I think Aaron Brockovich is on this one.
That would make sense.
Too. Makes
the
sense,
water
right?
issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, some other allegations coming out, pretty bad ones, against Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. They got really ugly because they're going through a divorce. ET Online reports that in court documents, she alleges that he held a gun to her head multiple times back in 2000 and 2001. She says he also punched her in the face at least twice. In 2016, he kicked down a door to a room she was hiding in to try to escape from him. Young says that her husband, quote, decimated my personhood to the extent that I currently suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome. His long-term abuse must be a factor that the court takes into account in awarding support and fees. She says she never went to the authorities before about his violent behavior because she was scared. And, this isn't the first time we've heard this. I don't know if you remember the name Dee Barnes. She accused him of violent acts against a woman.
Dee Barnes is the name of Liam Neeson's character, whose wife was killed during the barn. Yeah, name is Derek Barnes.
Yeah.
Yes, ironically. Don't you think like she wants, $300,000 a month or whatever, and this sort of life accustomed, this lifestyle accustomed thing, or she wants $1 million a month or whatever the hell she wants.
Right.
She's going for it all, right? And he's a cajillionaire. So, but don't you think that, like when you apply for unemployment, there are other things that work this way where they go, if you make $30,000 a year, you can get $500 a week. And if you make $80,000 a year, you can get $650. And if you make over $100,000 a year, you just get the max. Right. That's just the max is $950 a week. That do you feel like there should just be a max for a divorce? Like, what's the difference between? I mean, it's pretty lucky that you married a guy who invented Beats and sold them to Apple for $2 kajillion. Like, but I don't know. Does that mean you have to be a millionaire for the rest of your life? Like, couldn't we just get to some threshold? Like, it's like when Bezos gets divorced. Does his ex deserve $150 billion, or could we just get to? Now, I don't know what she did. Maybe she helped them run the business and all that, and that could definitely be factored in. But if you didn't, in an absence of that, shouldn't it just be above a certain threshold and you get, $500K a year? And then if
I'm
you
sure
can't,
Dr. Dre would agree with you.
yeah, if you can't figure out a way to live off of $500K a year, that'll be on you. And then you go, well, it's not the manner I'm accustomed to living. And it's like, well, you got to downsize sometimes.
Well, you're not divorced.
Right.
Yeah, but I have to assume that from what she said, that this is more punitive. You know, this isn't about what am I accustomed to. This is how many times did you put me through a wall? Well, you're going to pay now.
Yeah, he is.
He may ask for that $70 million back from USC.
That's right. Take his plaque off the wall. Armie Hammer, involved in a bizarre scandal in the last couple of days, has the internet buzzing about claims of graphic messages, possible cannibalism. This is just really, really, we got to get this figured out. So over the weekend, several unverified private messages were posted online that claim to be Armie Hammer. The messages include accounts of sexual acts, fantasies. One says, I need to drink your blood. One says, you're my angel. You need to save me. And it's all very bizarre. E! News hasn't confirmed the authenticity of these accounts and messages, but the poster was somebody, House of Effie.
This could be his loser twin brother who's posting all this shit.
That's right. Always up to no good.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Knows his way around a computer.
But the House of Effie person that posted this then claims that they weren't real. But then on Monday took that back and said, no, these are real. Meanwhile, Armie Hammer is, and I will use this correctly, breaking his silence because I think we were waiting to hear from him. He told E! News in a statement, I'm not responding to these bullshit claims, but in light of the vicious and spurious online attacks against me, I cannot in good conscience now leave my children for 4 months to shoot a film in the Dominican Republic. Lionsgate is supporting me in this, and I'm grateful to them for that. But he also revealed that he's no longer co-starring in J-Lo's movie Shotgun Wedding. They've parted ways.
I'm sure it was his choice.
What does that mean? I mean, it's some sort of, let's just say it was all fabricated out of whole cloth. Like you drink blood and you're a vampire and whatever. That's going to stop you from going and shooting a movie somewhere?
That's
that seems weird to me.
I don't get that. It's now I have a statement from that company, from that studio. It says, given the imminent start date of Shotgun Wedding, Armie has requested to step away for the film, and we support him in his decision. But that also doesn't add up.
Yeah. I learned from my favorite show, TMZ, that he's, I think, recently got divorced and is with a much younger gal. I think that was my TMZ takeaway from a few weeks ago.
Thank you.
Max
Hot
Zapata can look that up. But this feels very weird that he would, maybe he doesn't want to work with, you say Jennifer Lopez?
Mm-hmm. Jennifer Lopez.
Could she take a fucking week off? Jesus Christ.
Making everybody look bad.
If she's not, doing the inauguration, she's at the gym, the Super Bowl halftime, just fucking give it a break. Sorry, go ahead.
Would you say that to The Rock?
Yeah, I would say that to The Rock, too.
He was forced out. I'm sure he was, he had to write that via his publicist or whatever. Like, Armie Hammer's kind of on the fringe of being like an actor who works a lot and a big star. Like, he's not quite there. So I imagine co-starring in a movie with Jennifer Lopez would have been very, very, very lucrative for his career. I'm not saying he got paid a lot. I'm saying it would have been very good for his career. This doesn't add up.
I have a theory.
This scares me. Yeah.
She's a diva, and she's kind of on the short side, and he's really tall. Maybe she didn't want to. Short people don't like working around tall people. I know.
Oh, you're talking about Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, sorry. Yes. Mm-hmm. I know I'm tall, and people just don't like working with me, but it has nothing to do with my attitude.
That's because you're tall.
It's my height.
You're a lanky fella.
Even have trouble with other guys that are 6'3", 6'4". They just have an attitude issue because of my height. So it's like Tom Cruise. He has to have the short, leading ladies, right?
He has to stand on the apple box with Nicole Kidman.
Right. So I don't know. Maybe
You think there's something there?
Is he dating a young chick? He's separated after 10 years of marriage. I think he's with some. Anyway, feels weird. I'll tell you what's weird. I'll tell you what's weird about any of these stories. When somebody has an allegation of something weird and something nefarious and something whatever, and then you go, oh, that's completely untrue. That's insane. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, and then you go, and I'm going to cancel my next project.
Yeah.
Like, that feels weird, right? Like, if it's just nothing, then why not just get on with it?
But also, what did he do? I mean,
I don't know.
He sent some creepy text, and now he doesn't get to work. This one I don't understand. Like,
also,
I don't get it.
Can't we, there's a whole COVID thing. People are sitting home. They're hitting the sauce pretty hard. Their phone's fucking sitting on their lap. You know what I mean? Can we cut at least Californians a little slack for some of the texts and tweets?
Yeah.
And people are home drinking pretty good. They got that phone on them. You got to think about that. Yeah.
We'll look back on this and be like, it was COVID. COVID text.
It was COVID.
Right. Etsy, it's like a homemade sort of craft website where you can get like lots of little bespoke things from artists that'll, create it for you. Etsy has pulled one of their shirts, which I did not realize you could get on Etsy. Etsy's like, jewelry and like cute baby clothes. You can also get a t-shirt that reads Camp Auschwitz. They blocked the seller from the business only after a man was seen wearing the shirt at the riots that happened in the Capitol. I think Kaylin has both those pictures. So he was spotted, and that man, by the way, was arrested. There he is. We're looking at a picture.
Got that on Etsy?
Wow.
Yes. There is a
version
very
of
similar
that.
shirt, and it says Camp Auschwitz with a skull and crossbones. His says work makes you free, which is what it said. Work our bike. For whatever. That was what you'd see when you went into the camps. And this shirt also exists on Etsy. We're looking at that right now. Last week, that rioter stormed the Capitol, making the headlines for this. Otherwise, this would have, I imagine, a safe and secure home on Etsy where nobody would bother it.
Chris, take a note. We for the crowdfunding campaign, we had the Camp Auschwitz as one of the.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's just go Camp Beverly Hills.
I like that better, too.
I told Nate he thought it was edgy. I said, probably cross the line.
Yeah.
So you can get
So
now
get rid of the...
you could wear that when you're having lunch with me and Cedric the Entertainer. Okay. There you go.
Cancel
Sorry.
the Dachau one and the
Yeah.
Bergen.
Oh, yeah. That goes. And Nate's from Montana. He doesn't really know the ways of Los Angeles,
Right.
All right,
So,
sorry.
Or you're going to want to order quick. It's going to hold down.
Remember, were you guys around for all the Camp Beverly Hills T-shirts? Did that
Those were
make its
cool.
way to your town?
Yep.
No, what was that?
They were cool.
I remember the 90210 T-shirts, because that was big at the time, but I don't know what this is.
There was Camp Beverly Hills was like T-shirt, sweatshirt. I don't know if it was a place, like there was these weird, like Olivia Newton-John owned a place called Koala Blue, and it was all just Australian shit. There's Camp Beverly Hills. Gina's showing us.
Saw that.
I thought it was just a brand.
It was, I guess, a brand, and it was popular, but it was just on T-shirts and like sweat jackets. But they didn't have any. I don't know. They'd have like a Camp Beverly Hills store next to the Kardashian store or something. What was that Kardashian store, Gina?
Dash. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Is that they don't have that anymore?
No,
do they?
they're so over that life. They don't have
Yeah.
time for that.
Yes.
Speaking of big money, Mickey Mantle, that baseball card just sold for millions at auction. It sold for $5.2 million to be exact, smashing the previous record by over $1 million, according to TMZ. This is a 1952 number 311 Topps Mickey Mantle. It's considered one of the most desirable trading cards in existence. Here it is right there. This isn't the only time that this particular Mantle card's been sold. Back in 2018, it sold for $2.88 million. 2 years later, it doubled that. Before the Mantle card set the
Wait
new
a
record.
minute. Give me that. What are the dates? Let's try to figure out the value.
In 2018, it sold for 2.88, so 2.9 million.
Right.
Then it almost doubled in value 2 years later.
Yeah, you guys, anyone who's like buying something at an auction needs to, all the husbands need to keep this in their back pocket for the missus when, you're going, you want to pay blah, 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 for blah, 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 blah. You go, yeah, this is what could theoretically happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, before the Mantle card set the record, a Mike Trout 2009 Bowman Chrome Draft Prospect Superfractor held the title for $3.9 million. And who bought this card for 5.2? It's a guy named Rob Gough, Gough. He's the guy behind the CBD brand Dope CBD, which apparently does very well because he bought the card for 5.2 million.
How crazy is it that Trout, who's still playing, has a card out? You know, all the other cards are like Honus Wagner and shit like that. The idea that this guy is playing and his thing's out. Camp Beverly Hills is relaunching this year.
How do you do it? What do you know?
Camp back in session.
I just camp back in session.
Why would that have been on your radar?
Who's gonna?
I don't know if I ever brought up Camp Beverly Hills on this show.
Never
heard of it.
But they're relaunching this year after a 35-year hiatus or whatever. Is it just like a clothing line, or was there like they had retail stores and stuff?
Yeah, so it was a clothing line launched in 77, became a pop culture phenomenon in the 80s. It was, but then due to all the 80s nostalgia today, they announced a relaunch. They were bought out in the 2010s by a guy named Jay Foreman, and yeah, they're making a big comeback now.
Well, sign
It's a
me
clothing
up.
line.
Yep. Sorry.
All right.
What are you saying, Brian?
I was a baseball card nerd for a few years of my life. It was one of the most important things in my probably 10, 11-year-old life. I remember when I used to get Beckett Baseball Card Monthly, which was a monthly magazine that was literally a price. It was the industry price leader. I mean, they set the prices basically for cards, and the Mickey Mantle card was between $20,000 and $50,000 back then. This would have been 1990. 1990, basically. But I'm wondering if Chris can look this up. My guess is the Mike Trout card you're talking about is either a one-off or they made 5 because he's a great player, but there's no way it should be that much money aside from being a one of a kind.
Are you speculating that they didn't make a whole fuckload and that almost everyone has one?
Well,
is that your assertion? I know.
So
they made 1 or 5.
It's a one of a kind.
Yeah, I mean, sort of obviously, but I'm the guy who didn't know Cookie had to do with
You're
cooking.
not alone.
Not at all.
But ask Kalen. I'll bet he doesn't know what Cookie is either. But obviously it was very limited, otherwise impossible, but still pretty cool that a guy that was playing in modern day was laying claim to was the most expensive card. Kalen says, no, he doesn't know. He doesn't know Cookie.
No.
Did he respond to his name?
Yeah,
Kalen?
he did.
Okay, just checking. All right, sometimes I just want to make sure
that part he
knows.
yeah.
He knows you're talking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he was aware.
Okay. All right, but I didn't think he'd know. This is not a young man's sport, this wagon train cooking.
I thought maybe Kalen would have an edge because of Dad.
He was in Tombstone.
But no.
Dad was in Tombstone.
Yeah, his dad was in a lot of Westerns, and you'd think. Kalen was in a Western.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
What Western?
There's some show where he was just Michael Biehn brought him in just as a cameo. Kalen was just an extra. Yeah, Kalen was just there waving. I'll find it.
The Mandalorian. He was an Ewok.
You got to ask Fondelier if he knows what if he's doing the cookie. Oh, did you ask Kalen? He just walked in.
Oh no, I'm getting that show that Kalen was in, but I'll ask Fondelier.
Yeah, ask Fondelier. This is important. See, being right is cool, but being right on an island, that can get you thrown down a well.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Historically, this did not go well for Copernicus.
Well, you're right about that.
Oh, all these updated references.
I know. Wagon trains, Copernicus.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. Matt didn't know Cookie either, but did he know the reference? Like that the wagon train cook was named Cookie. Like we have to figure out whether people even know the reference point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah, you should check. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
Okay. Let's see here.
But run. This is important.
Yeah. Well, this is a kind of a feel-good story. Law and Order SVU, been around for 1 million years. They're trying to help actors who've been unemployed for a year now because of coronavirus, and specifically Broadway actors. Fox News says SVU is hiring Broadway stars who haven't been able to perform since last March when all the shows were shut down. The closure has left 97,000 workers who rely on Broadway for their livelihood just grappling with unemployment. SVU is currently in its 22nd season, and it's about to get a lot fancier.
More fabulous.
A lot more fabulous.
I was Sweeney Todd for 8 years. Great, you're a fucking corpse.
Matt Fondelier's not heard of any of this cookie business before, so he doesn't know the reference.
And I grew up with this stuff, and I didn't know it.
No. See, this is our confusion. The confusion is there's two groups of dimwits in the Carolla galaxy of dimwits. There's the group that didn't connect cookie, the name of the cook, with cooking.
Yeah.
And then there's the even dimmer bulbs in this cloaked Christmas tree of stupidity. Those are the ones who have no idea what we're referencing.
Okay.
They haven't heard of cookie. They don't know what it is that
genre.
he's the cook. Right.
Right.
I think Matt may not even know the genre thing, but either way, couldn't they, Gina? You love you love Broadway.
I do.
They not figured out a way to put a bunch of cameras in there and charge everyone $19 a download and do a live whatever? Doesn't it seem like they should have done that?
I agree. They've done a lot of the Zoom stuff, but it's from what I've seen, it's mostly all charity. They're also doing something that's kind of cameo-like. So, like one-on-one, like pay $100 and you get to talk to Idina Menzel for 20 minutes. Everyone's trying a different angle, but I don't know anything about, full casts coming together and live streaming anything. And I agree. They should have done that.
All right. So did I step on it, or they're just going to hire these actors for?
It's just going to be a fabulous season of SVU because it's all going to be Broadway-licious.
All right. Let's bring it home before we get any gayer.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, we got Simply Safe. Simply Safe. There's two I's in there. Home security. Go to simplysafe.com and sign yourself up and get this fantastic product, and you'll get the free home security camera as well at simplysafe.com. All right. I want to thank Nate Adams for coming in here. Give a plug to microventures.com/am. You can go there and be a producer on one of these cool docs we're making. I want to thank Major Adams for zooming in. Sorry, Major Williams.
Major Adams.
I had
and
to
we
do it.
end as we began.
I couldn't do it. I said Nate Adams. There's no way I wasn't going to go Major Adams. Major Adams. Major Williams. Major4governor.com is where you go. Naples, Florida tonight and tomorrow night as you hear this. And Off the Hook. Come on out and say hi. Kyle Dunnigan's going to be on tonight. Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Missouri, Royal Oak in Michigan, and Waukegan, Illinois also playing shows. Go to amcroll.com for all the live shows. Until next time, this is Adam for Major and Nate and Gene and Bald saying mahalo.